So you wind it in
until when?
Till you get a sliding clearance on a drill bit. Doesn't really matter what size. Or just any, like a shaft of a given diameter, you know? So as long as you use the same one on both sides. So this will be far too high an RPM now.
Yeah.
It just fits under there, under the fattest part of the curve. See that?
Yeah.
Yep. And then you do the other side. Bearing in mind, this is the hard way. Like, this is to do it without vacuum gauges. So you just want a sliding clearance on the drill bit. Okay, this drill bit's going to be too big, so it's just going to be revving too high. And I think because I'm at the bottom of that, of the thread now on this one. Oh no, we go a little bit more. So just got a sliding clearance on the drill bit. Okay?
Yep.
So now, you should also be able to hear it. So to me, this one's touching down a fraction earlier. You can hear it when it touches the screw.
Yeah.
When you wind the gas on. So it means this one is a little bit higher. So we'll just back that out just a tiny bit. So that's a rough guide on how to get the slides balanced.
Right.
Now what you want to do is pause. I want it idling high to get the balance, you know?
Yep.
So we'll just try a smaller drill bit. Try that. Alright, we'll give that a crack. Starting again. Not high enough. You know, you can fuck around for hours like that, so we'll just go half a turn or a full turn on both. So they're really loose, those screws, hey? Which means they're probably changing a bit. That is on, isn't it?
Yep.
Flooded it. highest idle, but it's only sensitive if they're balanced. If the slides aren't balanced, you won't get an effect. Back off the idle, just listening to it, you're affecting the balance. So in theory, to get this right, you'll go for the highest idle you can with the lowest idle screw setting. So you adjust the mixture screw to keep getting the idle higher. You go back and forth from one to the other. So until we got it, when we had it idling relatively high, you can hear it would sound like it was running on one. Then I played with that idle screw, and all of a sudden it came right up. So okay, the idle's up now. I know that it was balanced because we set that with the drill. And then in effect turning each screw half a turn isn't necessarily going to bring them down exactly the same amount. So that's when you need the vacuum gauges. Or you keep doing it like this and then you use another drill the right size to check that they're still balanced. So playing with idle screws isn't going to affect anything when you're riding the bike. No. Or very little. But it's like that pulling away, or just like flipping the throttle, but it doesn't overfuel and kill the engine. So to check your balance, once you've played with the idle settings, you put your finger on one slide, and then you visually look at the other one, and you just crack the throttle, and they should both be lifting at the same time. So for me, that's pretty good now. Because if you remember in the beginning, we wound out the idle screws. And we made sure that they were lifting at the same time. That's what we adjusted with this.
Okay.
So that's your first step.
Yep.
Because then your slides are lifting from a baseline setting, which is the bottom of the carburetor casting. They're lifting at the same time.
Yep.
That's what you want. So that's all without vacuum gauges.
Yep.
And it's never going to be as accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, I baked it last night, but that the inlet valve for the fuel isn't leaking, that the float bowls haven't got a little hole in them, that the bowl isn't overflowing. It could be running, fuel could be running straight up through the hole, straight down the throat. It's presuming that your valve clearances are probably good, and without or the compression's good. Without any of that, if your valve clearances are out, it's pretty hard to get a good tune on the bike. They're really sensitive to it. But there's fuel coming out of there now, see? So, I don't know why. maybe because I keep doing that.
Fucking aluminium, isn't it?
Alright. See how close we got it. It's not bad at idle, there's an imbalance. So this one's got more vacuum, it means that the throttle is more closed. So lifting the throttle, it's consistent. So that one is consistently less open than that one. So what we'll do, we need to lengthen. That one is more open. So it needs to be more. So it needs to pull later. So it needs to come in and touch here. You can either adjust it here or at the carburetor. That is too much. It's so sensitive to it. That's accurate to get it. It will just balance the idle. That one's putting more vacuum. That means we can pull this one out a touch. This one, because the vacuum is higher, means the slide has to come higher, so it'll make it go in. The higher the vacuum, the smaller the opening. Okay? High vacuum on the gauge, small opening on the carburetor. So that's pretty good, that's pretty close now. Vacuum. about as good as you for this bike. It's probably a little bit high and idle, isn't it? Back it off.